everyone, my name is Dr. Sila Darville. I teach violin and viola at Eastern Kentucky University. I'm so happy to be sharing this video with you. I heard it from your orchestra director that you're working on Sevcik op.3 theme and first variation, which is great. I love Sevcik. It's one of the most important technical studies that we have as violinists. The violas and the cellists, of course, later stole it, like they steal everything, don't tell anyone. So I love this one, especially, it's a big favorite of mine. Look at the music first of all. You will see that it's marked at quarter note to 132. Very, very important. Always keep in mind, please, to have a good, reliable metronome. I have my old faithful, my metronome's name is actually Carl. He's been through a lot. He died multiple times and resurrected, so he's been with me for over 10 years now. First, what you need to do is set your metronome to 132. With Sevcik, the tempo markings are very important, so always obey what is on the page, because he was a violinist himself, so everything that he put on the page is for your own good. So I have Carl ready to go at 132. What I'm going to do is, you can actually add vibrato, but Sevcik, these variations are mostly for bowing. So if you want to say, I don't want to work on my vibrato, I really want to first play it with a full tone and then later maybe add vibrato or just work on my right hand. I usually do Sevcik non-vibrato, but it's up to, again, your orchestra director, so whatever he wants you to do, keep it that way. I will play it both ways. First one is going to be with the metronome, full bows. The theme has to be with full bow. Make sure you have the same tone quality from the frog all the way to the tip. It's going to be a lot of sound, good intonation, and make sure you're right in between the bridge and the fingerboard. Don't slide to the fingerboard when you're at the tip. Don't pull when you're at the frog. Let's give it a go. This was non-vibrato, as you can tell. There are a lot of dynamics. I said full bow, and sometimes, let me shut the metronome down. When in the piano, it's not going to be exactly full bow, but still as much bow as you can use. There's always this misconception amongst musicians that when it's piano, you can't use any bow. That's not true. With Sevcik, it's really important to use the full bow, but still keep the same good dynamic and also the sound quality. The piano doesn't mean lose your sound quality. So whatever you do, whatever sound you make sure it's like a good apple. The core is always really healthy. The piano, same core. Forte, same core. The difference between the piano and forte is going to be how much arm weight you really put into the string and a little bit of more speed with the forte bow. But you still can be able to play piano with a full bow. This time, let's try it the same thing. Let's do the theme with some vibrato. when you add the vibrato, you can also use the theme to work on your vibrato. Can you keep the same even vibrato throughout? It's always a good thing to use the themes for. If you can you make sure that when you do the dynamic changes, the vibrato still stays very even. So if you're doing it with vibrato, that's great. Make sure you also focus on the evenness of your vibrato, and it's really easy to do it, especially with the metronome. Now let's look at variation 1. So the bow stroke that you see, it says at the frog, right? And the first 3 notes have dashes, so a little bit longer, still detached, what we call in musical terms détaché, which literally means detached in French. And then you're gonna have repeated up bows with a break, with a breath mark. And that is actually gonna be the collet stroke, which is great bow stroke, very advanced. So if you can get that bow stroke right, you are in very good shape to do anything else in the violin repertoire. It's like a very good basic bow stroke. So we're gonna use that at the frog, again, always with the metronome. If you do Sevcik without the metronome, really you lose the most of the purpose of the exercise. So this time I'm gonna go down to 1/16. And let's see. Okay, this is variation 1 at 1/16 to a quarter note. So beautiful, actually it's very melodic in itself. It doesn't even sound like a bowing exercise. What I would like you to focus on when you do it, first of all, slow it down. I don't know exactly when your, what you might call a test is, but slow it down and then speed it up. I would usually speed it up in 5-click increments. You can do 2-click increments, you can do 4-click increments, but it's 1/16. So let's speed that all the way down to 60, which is a great starting point. I always start practicing at 60 and then go from there. So this is 60 to a quarter note. When you do this one, please make sure, first of all, you're not using too much bow because it's going to defy the whole purpose. Second of all, the first 3 notes more or less together with a little bit detachment. And then the repeated up bow, sorry, this keeps going. The repeated up bows, I'm actually going to take this, I'm going to make the circular bow motion every time I'm done with an up bow. Can you see this? It's a very mini circle. I'm attacking the string and then immediately bringing my knuckles down, make a circle, attack it again. Attack it again. I need to be able to have this curvature of the fingers. When I'm doing this, I need to make sure my thumb is completely flexible and curved. If you have a straight thumb like this, it's not gonna, you're not gonna be able to make those small circles. And every time you're done with the motion, your knuckles are gonna flatten, your thumb is curved, and I would like you to feel the motion actually between your first finger, fourth finger, thumb, and make sure your third finger is pressing a little bit against the thumb. It's gonna help you, first of all, flattening your knuckles and keeping that motion exactly the same. The third finger, nobody talks about it, but it's one of the most important fingers in the bow hand. It actually, we call it, it's like your steering wheel or your reins in a horse, right? You actually give the direction of the bow from the third finger. So if your third finger is right on the eyelet and has a little bit of push towards the thumb, you're gonna have this beautiful, very flexible fingers. And every time I'm done with the bow stroke in the up bows, I'm doing this circle. And if you are really good with your bow arm, you should be able to do this motion without barely moving anything else, just hand and fingers. A great collé motion comes from your fingers, nothing else. A little bit of wrist, mostly fingers, no forearm, no upper arm. So keep it as rigid as possible here. Relax your shoulder though. Rigid in the means of not moving it, not like super tense, just don't move it. Make sure all the circular motion is coming from your knuckles, your thumb, your third finger, and your pinky. The pinky, very important. So watch my hand. I'm barely moving anything else. You will see a little bit of motion in my upper arm and forearm, but that's not because I'm moving them, it's because you are seeing my big muscles moving my fingers. I'm not trying to move this, it's happening as a reaction to my fingers. So when you do it in tempo, obviously you're gonna be able to use a little bit more of your arm. But still the initial action is gonna happen in your fingers and everything else is gonna follow it. So let's try it once at 60, which is a great starting point. Again at the frog, not too much bow. Focus on the flexibility of your fingers, flat knuckles, and good tone. You say, okay, 60 is great, I was beautifully in tune, my bow was super flexible, then you can move to 65, which is what I would recommend. You know, life is short. If you go 3 click increments or 2 click increments, you're gonna be there forever. 5 is a good way to, well, 5 click increments are a good step to go to. Let's do it again, a little bit faster this time. This is at 65. That you need to be careful of is that every time after that motion in your hand, relax your shoulder. Please don't play with this raised shoulder. You will never get a good sound. If this is raised, it means your entire back muscles are contracted, so you're never gonna get a good sound. After every stroke, make sure that you feel your shoulder down, and after every stroke, help yourself a little bit, just a little bit, your upper arm so that you can come closer to your body. It will help your fingers. The fingers are still the ones doing the actual job. Your arm is just helping it out a little bit. It's kind of giving it a gentle push. But see how much motion is here and how little motion is still here, even though I'm moving it. And when you land, make sure you land in the same spot. You don't land here, you don't land here. Whenever you land down, it's always between the bridge and the fingerboard, which is where you're gonna get the best sound. If you don't see a lot of motion in your fingers, if your fingers are looking good like this, it's a perfect bow hold, but they are rigid, you will get this sound. I don't know if it comes across in the camera, but it's kind of tinny. It doesn't have a lot of control, it doesn't have this suppleness, it doesn't resonate. The fingers, flexible fingers, will give you a really good sound. So whatever you do, come down, I'm always finishing with the circular motion. I come down, make the sound, circular motion, come down, circular motion, every time. And always, for the first variations, keep this beautiful tone. The most important thing. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. My first name is Sila, S-I-L-A, last name Darville, D-A-R-V-I-L-L-E @eku.edu. I would love to hear from you. If you have any further questions about this collé bow stroke, which is spelled as C-O-L-L-E with an accent. is French, and the other motion that we talked about was détaché. If you have any questions about my shoulder rest committed suicide, about these bow strokes, please don't hesitate to contact me. I will be really happy to talk to you guys. I hope everything is well, and I will hopefully see you again next time. Bye!